Hey everyone, so we are here at our van in the storage lot, and we're just here just to bring Finch over, just to get him used to us traveling again, because we're going to be starting to travel, and we do have a trip coming up. So we are here in the van, and while we're here we thought we would do a quick video and update you on what's been happening with us, and also Gordon wants to share a hike that he did recently. So we hope you enjoy this video. So we haven't been traveling much. We've kind of been a little bit nervous about bringing Finch out, and also we've got a few things. I have a foot injury right now, so I've been hobbling about for
a couple weeks.
Yeah, at least a couple of weeks, and it's just starting to feel better. And so we actually brought Finch down here to the van because we wanted to again get him used to getting in the car and driving and coming here. He's very comfortable in the van. He's sitting right here next to us, and hopefully when we bring him out again he'll be a little bit more comfortable.
The other thing is that the weather's been unseasonably cold. I mean, until I think a week ago even southern Vancouver Island had a significant amount of snow. So, and the local hills are getting lots of snow, which is good in some ways, but has made it cool. And even the weather's been close to freezing around where we live up until probably about a few days ago. So looking forward to getting out now that the weather is starting to improve.
Yeah, and actually we had a booking for last week to a camp spot in the Okanagan near Kelowna, Bear Creek, and we actually pushed the reservation back.
Even though we have a furnace and we've done some hacks, we added insulation and have some other things that we've done to keep the van warmer, it still just gets cold. And if it's not that pleasant to be outside, then we really just aren't that keen to go.
Yeah, and when we try to get out of Metro Vancouver, there's always some mountain passes that can be a little bit dicey when the weather's bad, and especially with all the flooding that happened, there's a lot of roads that are not in the best of shape right now over the mountain passes, so we just wanted to be a little bit extra cautious. Yeah,
so we haven't gone, but we hope to get out again soon, literally in a few days possibly. And the other thing that we wanted to share with you was the fact that we finally added, I guess, sort of more of a permanent bed.
As you can see.
In our van. So if you followed our videos before, typically what we've done is we bring sleeping bags. And that allows us a couple things. It allows us to sleep, as we say, east-west, which is side to side, or north-south, which is front to back. And that works out really well. Generally, we've just been using, I guess, two singles because it's just more flexible. But we always have the bed down. I mean, we've had the van now for 4 years, and I think probably the first year we would use the bed. We'd make up the bed and fold it down, and after that we just started leaving it down, at least in the sort of twin size all the time, and that gave us a lot of flexibility.
Except now that we have Finch again, he sleeps over here underneath the cupboard here, so we have to actually sleep sideways. And,
if we want to, we could do the other way, but then he's going to have to sleep between us. What was interesting as well is that we actually had at home a sofa bed that we no longer needed. It was an IKEA bed. I can't remember.
I think it's called Lixale or something. I'll note it down here.
God knows what that translates to. Anyway, it actually was almost the perfect fit. Lengthwise or widthwise for the van, it was perfect. And we just had to slide one of the
wooden slats.
The wooden slats that you'd normally use if you made the bed into a king size. And we slid that in just partially, and it seems to be a good fit. So
yeah, we haven't tried it yet, but it feels pretty good when you lie on it. So it's a lot more comfortable than actually sleeping on the actual sofa cushions.
Yeah, we've added a duvet and some other blankets, and actually even added a small electric blanket if we need that to provide any additional heat for us. So we'll try actually not using sleeping bags for a while. I suspect Finch will be the individual who actually gets the benefit from the electric blanket more often than we do.
Yeah. And we also bought a couple little storage hangers for the back there. Just it's nice to have something to put your cell phone or book in when you're sleeping. We actually applied the adhesive that they came with, so we don't know how long they'll last. So
yeah, if that doesn't work, what we'll do is we'll just rig a little hook through the slots that are there for the seatbelt hookups. I think Mickey's just happy because now the back of the van looks more like a nice little place to be as opposed to just some place to camp and sleep, which is sort of more my style.
Yeah, and for longer trips, it'll be a lot more comfortable, I think.
It's interesting because I think about 60% of Roadtrek Zion owners keep their bed down all the time. And probably the first year we would bring the bed up and put it down and as we needed it. But I think for the last 3 years, our bed is always down and we just use that to sleep. We rarely, if ever, eat in the van. And so when we do eat in the van, usually one of us is either sitting on the corner of the bed or sitting in the corner over here, or we've turned around the front seat. And you've heard this again on some of our videos. If you're in a Class B, typically you want to be outside. So when we do have to eat inside, it's usually just basic. We cook, eat, and then try and get out again. So not everyone does that. Some people use their table all the time. I get that. But for us, we generally are eating outside. And so, just being able to sit down and eat in the van, we have to, we do. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you've heard me say this on many other videos, in a Class B van, you're supposed to be outside. So.
Yeah. The living room is outside, not inside.
Especially if you have 2 people.
Yeah.
1, maybe you could spend more time, but 2 gets a little cluttered.
2 and a cat.
2 and a cat.
And maybe in the wintertime you might still use sleeping bags. It depends on how cold it is.
Yeah, it depends how
here.
cold it is.
Yeah.
We can turn the furnace on, but as you know, the furnace is relatively loud. So I find, for example, I wake up just about every time it comes on.
Yeah.
And even with some of the extra insulation that we've put in, it's still a 3-season van. So once it starts to once the temperatures are around freezing, the van cools down pretty quickly, even with the hacks that we have to add some additional heat. Mm-hmm. So about a week ago, I actually went up to Garibaldi Lake. Now that's an area you've seen Mickey and I hike to. We love it up there. And I went up because I knew there'd be lots of snow and just really wanted to, actually what I really wanted to do was cross the lake to where there's a hut on the other side. And Mickey and I have done that in the past. It's a long day, but still I wanted to try that and just get out and, I'll give you a hint, I wasn't successful. I got most of the way, where I wanted to go. Initially I got to the lake, but unfortunately I had an equipment malfunction, and that was enough for me to decide to turn around and come back down. Still, it was a beautiful day, and I hope you enjoy the hike along with me. Can hear the birds. Can hear the creek in the background. It's about 2 kilometers in, and it's so icy and snowy. Put on my micro spikes. Some of the best gear we've ever purchased, actually, and we even use them in the summertime. And they'll fit nicely on trail runners if you're hiking in those. It's just nice if you hit any sort of late summer snow or ice. They're great, and they're not that expensive. I doubt if I'm going to need snowshoes, simply because it's so cold. Trails all hard packed ice. I have my snowshoes with me, but
I think at the lake it was probably -10 or -11, and a lot of people go up this trail, so it's probably just hard packed snow now. We'll see. This is a steep section. It's really the only steep section on the trail. Pushes the heart rate up, but it's not too long. Okay. Around the 6K mark right now. Garibaldi Lake, another 3K. It's a Tantalus Range just over there. It looked beautiful on the way up. I managed to stop and take some photos. Great. For those that watched one of our previous videos, Lake Lucille's kind of over there. You can't see it. And that's the barrier. That's what really holds Garibaldi Lake up there. There's always a concern that during an earthquake it'll let loose and the lake will flood down the valley. Now I was up there, I did a bushwhack trip at the end of September for my birthday. I managed to get up on the two ridges, ridge there, ridge over there, and it was nice. Hard trip though, wouldn't recommend it at all. I need to go that way, past the lesser Garibaldi lakes, and then to Garibaldi Lake. Just gorgeous day. Not too cold even, just probably slightly above freezing right now. This viewpoint's actually about the 6-kilometer mark, and the first 6K are really where you gain the elevation on this trail. You gain somewhere around 3,000 feet, so just a little under, I think, 1,000 meters. The lake, actually, Garibaldi Lake itself is something I think about 1,500 meters, or about 5,000 feet roughly in terms of elevation. It's been a nice trip. There's been literally no one on the trail. Just as I hit the 5K mark, I passed three young folks in maybe their 20s or something, and they were working their way up. I'm actually coming up fairly slowly today because I haven't done a long hike in probably, a month. Certainly Mickey and I try and keep fit with cardio, but we haven't been out in terms of long hikes at all, so I will be sore tomorrow. But what a beautiful day. This is just my view from this point here. I had to come down a little bit just to get out of the wind. Snow's quite hard. Even in shoes I'm not post-holing. And you can see some people have even skied down through that section there. Just gorgeous. Summer trail goes that way. Winter trail, you can actually cross this frozen lake. There's one lake here and then another lake just around the corner there. They're referred to as they're called, I think, the lesser Garibaldi lakes. That's the route I'm taking today. Up with this route, the sun's starting to soften the snow, so occasionally you post-hole, so I could put on my snowshoes. Still, we'll see how far I get without. On the main trail now. The problem with coming up from that second lake, it's steep. Well laid in trail. Not nearly as steep. Okay, I'm getting close. To get out probably to the middle of the lake, so I went to put my snowshoes on and they broke. Now in fairness, they're probably 20 years old, so MSR, I think you've lasted as long as one could expect, but that means I'm not going to go any farther. You just start post holing on the fresh snow. It's not that deep, maybe a foot or so, but just too difficult to walk through on top of the frozen lake. So Mickey and I have snowshoed right across the lake. I've also, of course, paddled across this lake, and there's a hut on the other side, and I've stayed overnight there. Did it twice, actually. Once in a kayak I brought up, an inflatable kayak, and the other time in my pack raft. Just beautiful here. Just gorgeous. Mountain, there's Sphinx. Mount Price over there, which is probably one of our favorite hikes. Panorama Ridge is up back there. Alright, this is as far as I'm going. Gonna have some lunch and head back. Where it snapped, right here in the middle. This is actually the second time I've replaced these, so I think it's time. It's the second time I fixed it. I've actually replaced the whole crampon previously, but this time I think I'm just going to buy a new pair of snowshoes. Maybe they'll be on sale. Peanut butter and jam sandwiches. A little bit of fat, a little bit of sugar, quick boost of energy. A little chilly here, a bit of a wind. Alright, let's just walk down. Been here many times when we've had to shovel our way in, so. Relatively dark in here because obviously the snow. Just about freezing in the sun. You can see everything's dripping just a little. Just gorgeous. All right, knock that away. Taking the summer trail back just for something different route out. Pretty. That's where I came up, down there, and then across the water, frozen water there. Nice, you can just hear the creek. done. It was a great day. And the weather's starting to change. It's getting cloudy. It's actually supposed to snow here tonight. So timing was wonderful. It wasn't as long as a trip as I expected because I thought I'd be going at least halfway across the lake or maybe all the way across the lake. But without my snowshoes, that wasn't going to be an option. Anyway, I'm still sore. All right, time to head home. One public safety announcement. If you come up here and go to the backcountry. My pace in the parking lot on the way out, much slower than the way in. So it turns out I actually had some parts already to fix the snowshoes, which is great because they're almost impossible to find right now. I guess what happened is a couple years ago I anticipated this could break, so I picked up some spare parts and completely forgot about them. And Mickey found them this morning, so that's just great. Done. Almost like new. New bindings, new straps, new crampons. Perfect.
So we hope you enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned because we're going to have a couple of trips coming up that you might enjoy. We'll be traveling a little bit more again now that the weather's better. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.